So welcome back everyone, Mike here. This evening I'm over here on the other hill and I'm going to start cleaning up this mess that I have here behind me. I showed you that tree in another video. I'll put that right up above here. But it broke off, it got hung up for about a week or two, then the whole thing came down, and it's a pretty big oak tree. What I'd like to do is drag that whole top up to the top of the hill. I have a wide spot up there where I can kind of work it up. And there's also some other trees over there that are down. I'd like to get them out of there and clean all that up as well. Sometimes, depending on what section of woods that I'm in, you know, sometimes I'll just cut all the small limbs up, pile them up, you know, the kind of all the bunnies and the critters like that kind of stuff. But this section up here, it's real nice and kind of open, and so I think I want to get rid of it all. So what I'll do, once I drag this thing up to the top, I will top it out, cut it up for firewood probably tomorrow, and then down in the old apple orchard, which isn't too far from here, I have a brush pile there that I've been wanting to burn, and I'll do that maybe tomorrow. It's supposed to rain some tonight, so it'd be a good time to burn tomorrow if it's not too windy. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of people always mention, you know, you need a chipper. And you know what, a chipper would be pretty handy to have, but literally that's all I would do is spend time chipping and not doing anything else, because it's just such a volume of wood that we have here. Trees constantly falling down, dead trees that I cut up. I mean, it would be non-stop. I mean, it would be nice to have, maybe to line some trails with some, you know, chips or something like that. But as far as getting rid of all the treetops in the areas that I want to, there's no better solution than to burn them, at least for me in this area. And I know in other parts of the country that's completely out of the question. Around here it's no big deal. We've been doing it forever, and it's a great way to get rid of brush. So I'll show you what I have here. This thing's big, I'm telling you. It's about, I don't know, 100 feet long. I asked the other night in the video if they thought, if you guys thought this RK37 would drag this to the top of the hill, and everybody said no problem at all. But I have my doubts for 3 reasons. First reason is it's kind of tangled up out there. Second reason is it's huge. Actually 4 reasons. The third reason is I'm pulling uphill. And the fourth, and probably the most important reason, is I thought I had a 3-inch chain in the Wrangler, but all I had was a 1/4-inch chain, and I'll probably break it, but I'm going to try it anyway and see what happens. What I have to do, you know, you bring your chainsaw, all your PPE, fuel jugs, all that stuff. I don't have enough room on the tractor, especially with the camera equipment, all that stuff. So when I'm working in the woods now, I'll run out in the Ranger real quick, drop everything off, go back and get the tractor. Anyway, I'm just going to cut this one section off right here, because obviously it's just going to want to dig into the ground the whole way up. I'll cut this off right about here, put a chain on it, and we'll see. I have my doubts for those 4 reasons that I just mentioned. had to cut a couple limbs off it that were hung up down there. I think if it was that in the open, wouldn't have been no trouble at all. But they're tangled up in those other trees there. So I had to cut this one side off of it. I got it up here. I'll take these limbs off here in a little bit. And down that way, about 75, 100 yards, I got a brush pile down there. Take the brush down there, stack the firewood poles up here. I'll be good to go. But right now I'm going to go down there and drop what's left of that tree. Alright, now I'm going to drop what's left. It's, I'm guessing, 30 feet, 35 feet tall now. I mentioned this the other day. That looks, really easy to take down. There's no big limbs you have to worry about or anything like that. But sometimes these ones right here, you can get your bar pinched pretty easily. You definitely want to use some wedges and get it to go where you want, because it is standing perfectly straight, and so it's going to need a little coaxing to go where you want it. Alright, I got my face cut done. Now sometimes I'll cut this like this on an angle down here and not flat. When you cut it on an angle, the tree will fall down further before the hinge breaks. Now the reason I did it here is when this closes, it'll kind of jump off the stump, and that's what I want to do. I want to kind of send it down the trail a little bit. It'll be just easier to hook the chain up, and I just kind of feel like doing it right now. So that's the reason I cut it like this right here. Now I'm going to come in with my back cut. I got some wedges, and I realized I left a few tools at the house. However, I did get a hammer. I had a hammer in the Ranger, so I'll use that to drive the wedges. that's exactly what I was talking about. That tree was just perfectly vertical, sitting straight down on the stump. No weight up top, no limbs or anything like that, pulling it, you know, the direction that you want it to go. Had I not used those wedges, I guarantee you I would have pinched my bar and been going to plan B. You know, normally I'll leave about an inch of holding wood, like that hinge, when you're coming in with your back cut, and the weight up top will just pull it over, and that helps guide it where you want it to go. This one I left about an inch, then about a half inch. It still wasn't going anywhere. Drove the wedges a little bit more, and I mean, there's hardly any holding wood left on that at all. It did not want to go over, but it went exactly where I wanted. And if you notice, look how far away it is from the stump there. It's probably about 8 feet from the stump. That's what I was talking about when I did that face cut. Cut it flat, it jumps it off the stump, and I got to go down the trail. But anyway, I'm gonna go up get the tractor and take this one up to the top of the hill.